Hi, this is Ross Harrison from Precision Health and Fitness, and I'm coming to you today with another video about training at home, whether it's coronavirus or you just want to train at home. So today I've given you a number of things like what to think about for training, what's important to you, some exercise tips, some various philosophy things. Um, so in order to round things out, I figure it's important to have a video on program design. And there's way too much to cover in program design, or there's no way that I could say here this is the program that's right for everybody, because there isn't one. Whatever your goals and things are, all of those things are going to affect your program and the program design. And I'm also going to say just a general thing about program design. Program design really is like half art, half science. So the science behind it is what exercises do you use, how much weight, intensity, reps, rest, all that kind of stuff for your specific goals. And those are going to be different for each person to some degree. On the other hand, the art comes in where, okay, so you have this great program on paper, but do you do the same workout? Like if you come into the workout one day, you feel great versus somebody with the same workout who comes in and is feeling terrible. Do you do the same workout? No, of course not. You modify. And if you're feeling great, you may even increase things a little bit. If you're not feeling well, or if you have an injury, or there's many things that affect how you modify programs. I mean, there's days where I'll make a program for a client based on where they were last time I saw them, and I'll come in, and that entire program will get thrown out the window, and we'll do something completely different. Usually that's not the case, but that's more of an extreme thing. But yeah, it's art and science. So even if you design a great program, that doesn't mean you just stick with it no matter what. If your body is not adequately prepared for the workout you have planned, make some changes. If you're, you know, what you want to focus on changes happen to workout. They're always, just as your body is different every day. You fluctuate depending on moods and energy and what you've eaten, sleep, whether you're sick or not, or injured or not. All of those things are going to affect your program design. But for today, just as a base, I'm going to share my base template. And this is something I've sort of tweaked and come up with over my 25 years of training. And this is really designed, essentially, it's a basic template for a health program. I'm a big fan of full body workouts. Of course, bodybuilders or people who are wanting to gain a lot of muscle will do a lot of higher volume for each muscle group. Not my goal. So my goal is to get a full body workout. You're not going to hit every single muscle in your body every workout. That's impossible. But it's going to train the vast majority of your major muscle groups every day, and you can modify it in a ton of ways. But as a base workout, I like to have about 10 different exercises. And I end up doing 2 sets of each exercise, sort of, I call it a modified circuit. It's almost like circuit training, but I'll give you a brief explanation of how it works. So I break it into 2 parts. There's usually in like an upper body, or not upper body, well, we'll just say standing and floor. Some days there's no floor. Like everything I say is modifiable, and nothing I tell you, I absolutely do every workout. There's exceptions to every rule. But the base is this: 6 exercises standing, 4 on the floor. And so I'll do, like, after finishing one exercise, go to the next one, go to the next one, go to the next one, just for the first 6. And then at that point, you'll go back to the beginning and repeat. And then move to the floor, do those 4, and repeat those 4. So rest, I keep rest a very simple thing of rest as long as you need to be able to perform the next exercise well. So that means if you've just done an easy exercise, you may have no rest before going to the next one. If you do an exercise that's like the hardest one, takes a lot out of you, and you're having trouble breathing, you're naturally going to rest longer. Of course, if you have different goals, like if you're trying to train your ability to recover from like anaerobic exercise, or if you're training for like repeated sprints or that kind of thing, yeah, you're going to want to do things differently to challenge that component. But for general health, that's usually not a primary goal for people. So good technique for the average person is much better than let's push the limits of my body. So having said that, first exercise, I'll start with the leg exercise, not the hardest one. That's usually the fourth exercise. And then I'll typically do some kind of shoulder exercise. And then the third one will be something for upper back, mid to upper back. Again, I already said the fourth exercise is going to be a leg exercise. Usually some version of a split squat or lunge or something in that realm. Fifth one is some kind of usually chest exercise. I'm not even going to say pushing exercise, but some kind of chest exercise, and followed by some kind of a row or lat based exercise. So those top six. Then moving to the floor, the first floor exercise, or the seventh overall, is going to be some version of, actually this is sort of a wild card exercise. Sometimes it's low back, sometimes it's hamstrings, glutes. It tends to be in that realm, but that exercise is sort of, it fills in the gaps for anything that's missing from the other exercises. And then the last three exercises are typically all ab core. And there's usually one lower ab, one oblique, and one upper ab exercise, and usually in that order, but again, all variable. So that's my basic program design. I've got those 10 exercises, you do them all twice, rest as little as you need to do the next one well. And that creates essentially a basic full body routine. I still, there's a lot of things I take into consideration within those 10. It's not just, oh, let's pick a random, throw in a shoulder exercise, throw in a back exercise, throw in a, when you're starting, that's great. As long as you're varying it up and doing some different things from time to time, that's a good way to start. The more advanced you get, there's a lot of little subtleties that go in that, and there are certain balances I'm looking for. But again, if you're just starting an at-home program, you won't need to worry about that for quite a while. Another important piece to program design, and this is something I do, I don't know if a lot of people do this, I like to have themed workouts. So depending on what, and this is one of the reasons I have people go through and pick what variables are important to them. For most people, there's one of the workouts will focus on strength. So every exercise that day will be something a little more challenging to the major muscle groups. I'll also have an exercise or a workout that's focused on stability. Everybody needs stability. And that doesn't mean we'll just do all the same exercises but do them with a ball or a disc or something. There's other components, but all the exercises for that day will focus on some aspect of stability. And then I'll typically do one workout that focuses on muscular endurance. That day I do change the order up some, and I may put the 2 leg exercise, I'll do 2 or 3 leg exercises and have them back to back. Or I'll do some other things on that day. And then I also have a movement day. I think this is one that not a lot of people train, at least not that I see, but where the exercises themselves, the challenge is not how much weight you're lifting or how much your muscles are straining, but it's more challenging your neurological system, doing more complex movements with less resistance that are going to challenge your brain a lot more to move your body in correct ways. I will say people typically dislike that one a lot because it's hard. It's exercises that seem like they should be easy, but they're challenging in different ways. So, and that's sort of a theme I have, and it's a great way to prevent overtraining. So every day is challenging, just not only different muscles, but actually a different system of your body. Challenging strength feels very different from challenging stability or challenging movement or challenging endurance. They all have different physiological reactions. So even though there's challenge, you're not overtaxing any one system day after day, which is one of the primary things that causes burnout, injury, mental fatigue, all that stuff. So those are all my general components of my basic template for a workout, and you can please use that. It's great. People rarely ever get injured. Definitely not when I'm working with them. And it's a great way to build over time because you can just, increase strength one day, and having, like, when you're forced to create different styles of workout, you really have to think a lot more about, what do I want to get out of this? Why am I picking this exercise? If you just pick an exercise, it's like you're not going to throw, some very standard typical exercise onto, like, I'm not going to do a laying down bench press on a movement day. That makes no sense. So it just the process of creating workouts with those kinds of restrictions will make you understand your exercise a lot better. So that's it for today. A little primer, if you will, on program design, and I hope that gets you at least thinking a little more creatively about your workouts and might give you some new good ideas. If you have questions or want more information about this stuff, I mean, this really is just scratching the surface of what you can do with program design, but it's a great place to start. So I hope it works for you. Take care and keep up the good work. Bye-bye.